Welcome everyone to Tech Emea. Today is our last day after 5 days of a lot of knowledge of outstanding professionals and companies. So we are really happy with all the feedback we have during this week from the public, from the speakers, but mostly from the public that send me message. And after each session, they send message for all the speakers here. So I'm really happy, very glad. It's like we're finishing this year, a very strange and difficult year, I assume, for most everyone on this industry. So after this is the last day, and today we're gonna discuss. Just give me 1 second because I have too many things in my mind I need to read. We're gonna discuss tech trends, how to reinvent the hotel management with the small teams. So be welcome to Travel Tech. Next year, we're going to start on March with US and Canada. Then we're going to make Travel Tech Brazil, Portugal. Then we'll do Travel Tech Asia Pacific. Then we're going to have Travel Tech Latin speakers with Spain. And we're going to finish the year in 2021 again with Travel Tech Emea. But for the next year, we're going to have a little surprise for all of you. We'll keep the format as a forum, as we did. However, we're moving forward to be the first online global fair. So for the next year, we will, for each region of the world, we're gonna charge for, or not for speakers, but if they want to be on the online fair, the tech companies will be there for each region. So you, hotelier, when you go to a fair, maybe you go your director of sales, but you never can engage your COO, your CFO, your CEO, your director of marketing. So Travel Tech will change a little bit. We're going to stay with the funnel, but with online fair, you will be able for any part of the world that you are during the week of the funnel. You're going to have after each funnel 6 hours to connect and have one-to-one presentation with the companies that you can choose. So like this, you don't spend a penny because we understand right now if you need to go to any event, you're going to spend a lot of money, but you never can involve all your team. This is going to be the opportunity where you can be able to touch base with all the companies and the companies that you want and engaging your entire team if you're a chain or an independent hotel. So we will give this opportunity also for hoteliers, and I assume it's going to be amazing. And I will contact with the support of the companies that pass through here. So welcome everyone. Thank you very much. We're going to start right now. I will present you Clarissa Tracy, a friend of mine for a long time. We used to work together on Travel Pick. She's now a standing professional. Clarissa, please, you have 3 minutes to present yourself, be my guest, and I'm really glad to share a spot with you today. Welcome, Clarissa. I love you. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Vini. That's very kind of you. Well, yes, I'm Clarissa Trezzi. For those who don't know me, I've been active for over 10 years now in our industry, in the hospitality industry, and dealing with technology for a number of partners and colleagues and companies. What to say? I do love innovation, so I love discovering new things. I love doing things in new ways or different ways, and I do love new things at all, so inventing things. And I think that we do have a great panel today, a great opportunity to exchange ideas and visions in this very challenging historic time that hits our industry, one of the most in the world. And I thank you for being here. I thank you for this invitation. I'm very excited well, I've been following you the whole week, and today I'm also glad to be here on the panel. Thank you, and let's move forward.
Thank you, Clarissa. Welcome. Mr. Alejandro Gomez Lozada. You don't need presentations. It's your time.
Well, thank you for that. I was waiting for that. You love me too as well, but I
don't I don't love you, man.
So we
can hug you. I love you.
So thank you very much, everyone, for being today on the show. It's the last day of a full week of learning and knowledge sharing. I'm very humbled to be here with all these amazing professionals. A little bit about me, super quick. I've been in the industry for about 19 years already. Started the hotel path from carrying bags and doing bathrooms and all the way up. And last couple of years, it's been dedicated to tech, SaaS specifically, and currently doing consulting for a couple of companies and also accelerating a couple of startups. So based in Barcelona. So hi, everyone from Barcelona.
All right. So thank you everyone to be here. Thank you, Luís, Brites from Clever Hospitality, Prithwish, Dutta from eRevMax, Alfredo, Chiaramonte from CHAPP Solutions, Jiří, Helmich. I am so sorry if I'm doing the pronunciation wrong. Please correct me.
Yes, it's okay, Chiaramonte. You also speak Italian, so don't worry.
From Mews, TMS, Tiago Araújo, CEO of HiJiffy. We have an amazing panel here, all co-founders, CEOs. So welcome. So right now, Clarissa will start presenting you in the spreadsheet that you have, Clarissa. You have the time, so you can start. Then goes Alejandro. It's all to you. We start. And 1 second before I start, because they always forget, I would like to thank our sponsors. Ideas to be your sponsor, Libre Technology, HS Latin, and eRevMax, and book online now. So thank you very much to help and sponsor us to make this happen. And also for our media partners, that is Foodle TV, the Travel Daily Media, and Revenue Hub. Oh, I remember. So for all the talents that it's right now with us, and that is with us, please don't forget, on the right side of your computer or in your cell phone at the top, you'll be able to set questions. So you have here all hospitalities. We have chat box, we have PMSs, we have eRevMax that have a lot of solutions. So don't lose the opportunity to set all your questions. At the end of the session, we're gonna pass through them and ask to our participants here. So welcome, Clarissa, I give you the word. Thank you.
So yeah, let's go start with the first question that we have received.
Not the first question. We need to present the participants. So the first one is on the Excel. Is Alejandro. Sorry, Alejandro is human.
So Alejandro, your turn.
Well, I think we need to ask Jiří, and I think I got it right.
Yes.
So if you want to introduce yourself, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me. Hi, everyone. My name is Jiří, or Jirka, whatever goes better through your lips. And I'm a Chief Product Officer at Mews. I've been in hospitality for almost 7 years, all the time with Mews, trying to build our product. What we are about is, if you ever arrived into a hotel and stood in a queue at a reception desk and you were wondering why does it take so long for you to get a room for your key, so did we. And that's why we decided to build Mews. Our hospitality cloud now contains a property management system, guest-facing applications, business intelligence tool, secure payment automation, open APIs, marketplace of integrations. And currently we serve over 1,800 hospitality providers in 63 countries. And we are also creating remarkable experiences for the guests. That's who we are.
Thank you very much, Jiří, for that. Clarissa, you want to take the next speaker to be introduced?
Very glad. So Alfredo Chiaramonte, Italian name. Would you like please to present yourself and your company?
Of course, Clarissa. Thank you very much. Well, hi everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank Vinicius and his team for inviting me and for this great initiative. I am Alfredo Chiaramonte. I'm the founder and CEO of CHAPP Solution. We're a company part of Suqueti Group. We're based in Spain, more specifically in Canary Islands, so we live in the paradise. You are more than welcome to
Really? You live in paradise? If you have a job for me, let me know, we move.
We develop tech solutions for car rentals companies such as Avis, Europe Car, Alamo, and of course for hotels, from small independent hotels, and also for big hotel chains such as B&B Hotels, which is a French chain with more than 500 hotels. Our main product is the Lean PMS. This is the main product of the company. It's 100% clone PMS. with the three main principles: lean design, because we think that less is more, no training required, and increase the productivity are the main focus. In addition, we have also another applications. We also have like a self-service kiosk we call POC, P-O-K, and also with the check-in online, housekeeping app, and much more. So that's it. I'm very happy to participate. So thank you for having me, and I'm really great to having this conversation with such great panel.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Thank you, Clarissa.
Thank you very much. And I think now we can invite Luís Brites at Clever to present himself. Luís, welcome. The floor is yours.
Okay, Alejandro, thank you so much. Very happy to be here with this great panel. Thank you for the invitation. I'm currently the CEO and co-founder of Clever Hospitality Analytics. We have like 3.5 years of existence, and we built a solution. Well, the logical reason was why do we have so many slaves of information in hotels? My background, I am in 15 years in this industry, working for this industry in tech companies, namely PMSs, until I founded Clever. And we always insisted that every day, like the workers in hotels work like 2-3 hours in Excel spreadsheets to gather all the information that they need to decisions and to support decisions. And that's why we said, well, we should do something about this. And that's the first idea to create Clever. So thank you so much for having me here. And well, let's have a very good talk, I'm sure.
Welcome, Luís.
Yeah, for sure. Clarissa, you want to introduce the next person?
Yes, so Tiago Araújo, would you like to present yourself?
Yeah, that's a difficult name too. Hi, I'm Tiago, CEO and co-founder of HiJiffy. HiJiffy is an all-in-one communication platform for hotels. We've been around now for 4 years. We just announced our seed round yesterday of 1 million euros. I'm quite happy to get that done. We work currently with 1,200 hotels in 15 different countries. We count with clients such as Merit and Accor that we work on a property level. Accor, we work well with one of their chains. Basically, what we see as a problem, especially with the pandemic, is that obviously hotels have less guests and less revenue, but still these hotels have guests that have a lot of questions. I mean, they have much more questions than they had before while booking. And we know that hotels are with lack of staff and they don't have the capabilities to reply to these guests. So what we offer as a solution is the all-in-one communication platform for hotels, where all the communication is digital. We automatize a big chunk of it. And basically the way it starts is if you go to one of our clients' websites, there's a chat widget there. You click on it, this chatbot is able to handle more than 70% of the queries. And additionally, on the during stay, we have a virtual concierge. That's basically it.
Welcome, Tiago.
Well, thank you, Tiago, for your presentation and welcome to the panel.
Good. And then I think we have, for last but not least, Prithwish over there. How are you doing? I would love to check with you if you're in India currently.
Yes, I am in, and thanks, Alejandro, for introducing me. Thank you for everyone. Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, Clarissa. Yes, I'm in India right now, and myself, Prithwish from eRevMax. And eRevMax is actually known for a great tiger suite of products, catering to channel management, distribution, connectivity, and rate intelligence solutions for hotels worldwide. We have recently expanded our portfolio to include CRS, booking engine solution, meta search, GDS, along with reputation management tool, and even website design and development to provide, a cloud-based one-stop solution for the entire hospitality industry. With 19 years of domain expertise, our products are currently being used by over 9,000 plus hotels across the globe, including the likes of Accor, Loop, Rotana, Kempinski, Nordic Choice, NH Hotel Group, along with various, mid-scale and independent hotels. For me personally, I have been in the IT industry for over 15 years, having domain expertise in ERPs like SAP, Microsoft, Oracle, as well as CRM solutions like Salesforce, with various hospitality software solutions. I have been with eRevMax for right now almost 5 years, and it has been a great experience, to see how the hotel technology requirements have been evolving over the last few years. And I would like to, tell you one thing, like even before the pandemic situation, we were seeing a shift towards, cloud-based and self-guest applications, self-service guest applications. This transition has been accelerated by the COVID-19 situation, as customers all around the world expect contactless check-in experience throughout their stay, which also emphasizes on high standard of health and safety measures, and the reduction in face-to-face interaction while still getting a high level of guest service. Again, thanks for having me today on this panel, and I look forward to an interesting discussion. Thanks. Thank you very much, Vinny.
Welcome, British. We're very glad to have you here. And again, thank you very much for all the support, all the sharing that you have done to support us for the first beginning. So thank you very much. We are very glad to have every one of you here. So please don't be jealous, huh? So good. So for the attendance, I will repeat myself a lot of times, but it's needed. So don't forget to set your questions. We're going to start now with the first round of questions. I will start myself. Passing through this, strange moment in the world. Hotels, maybe I work most of them. I work with less people inside. So we create this panel with the BMSs, with distribution systems and communication systems as HiJiffy, eRevMax, CHAPP Solutions, Mews, and Clever Hospitality, to try to give tip and hints for our hoteliers to how fast their operations or better, and the human resources and everything. Saying that, I would like to request for Tiago Araújo. Tiago, tell me something. How can the industry improve in HR? I will repeat. How can the industry improve in HR concerning hotels? You have 5 minutes. It's all yours.
Sure. Thank you, Vinicius. I think that it's something super important, and we've been talking a lot during the pandemic about, obviously, how this evolved in terms of technology, how all the pandemic accelerated the technology. And I tend to think a lot with this acceleration of the pandemic is that if we, as a technology provider, we already felt a huge gap sometimes between us and the people that are within the operations of the hotel and that use the technology, and we're always trying to close that gap up. Right now, with this acceleration, I mean, in terms of human resources within the hotels and knowing how to use all these cloud-based solutions that we're all talking about, this gap probably can even increase. And it's really important to be able to accelerate not only this revolution in terms of technology, but to accelerate to the people that use this technology. Because if we don't do it, we'll not be able to execute as we wish. So basically, in my point of view, there's a couple of things that are important. We at HiJiffy have give our 5 cents, but there's a lot of providers and players that can do even more than us. We see that training is fundamental. We're having a lot of our clients shouting out for like this. We're so overwhelmed with so much technology. I know that you guys are specialized in communication, but can you help us on understanding the rest of the puzzle and the rest of the things that me as a hotel manager, I should know about? And obviously we try to put along with other, depending on the part and the piece of the technology they're talking, experts to talk about it. But there's a lot of more training and events like this one And I tend to say that it was never so important to talk about technology with all this acceleration for people to actually try to get to know what's happening. But events like this one, but other things, I mean, associations, hotel associations, or even national tourism boards, there's a lot that can be done in terms of training. And then another thing that I had the opportunity to talk with a client of ours, of HiJiffy, that he was talking, that he said this sentence that I think will stay with me for a long time. That was, he said, HiJiffy gives me the opportunity of hiring qualified people. And I was like, how come? Because HiJiffy gives me the opportunity of not doing as much simple and manual tasks that I know that technology can do nowadays. And what I feel about HiJiffy, I feel exactly the same thing with other tech providers that I talk with. So, like, for example, if we talk about revenue management and taking decisions about revenue management, building Excels and spreadsheets to take decisions, I mean, there's already technology for that. When we talk about PMSs, and there's so much manual work that if there's no integration, as Mews does it so well, of being completely integrated and having this marketplace, I mean, there's so much tasks that you need to do manual. So if you tend to have so much manual tasks on your day-to-day, it's quite difficult for you as a hotel to have this top qualified people that are there to take decisions that nowadays actually machines can take easily, and leave the most difficult parts for, let's say, for humans, of the robots versus human. So, I mean, one thing that I tend to say always is always try to measure the return on investment on this technology, and try to understand really of what you can do with technology, so that then you can actually hire more qualified people, because you have a much more efficient machine within your hotel, with the human resources and with the tech stack that you have within the hotel. So this is how I think that hotels can improve a lot in terms of HR.
Vinny, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry. I will do the same. Sorry, I forgot that. Just don't make noise. I have the dogs here. Wow. So I'm sorry. So thank you very much for your insights. I just want to make a point also is the timing for hotels, not only for training their staff, but also to try to understand what they do wrong, or to understand each part of the hotel is not working. And they can do that only checking the reviews from the customers, because maybe you have a problem and you don't know in the restaurant. Maybe you have a problem in some floor of your hotel, you always have some kind of complaint. Maybe one of the staff is not doing the job quite well. So is the timing also to double check all those little things but impacting your operations directly. So anybody, Luís, Brites, Prithwish, Alfredo, Jiří, some of you want to make a point or add something here, please go ahead.
Yes, I would say.
Let me take two silver lining here, just to before Clary can add up. But what I take from Tiago, and he made like three very important points. So the first one is resignifying what collaboration and association means, right? So that is super important. And I come from the traditional hotel world initially, and I think hoteliers in this audience, and then going forward, will have to think what they get from their hotel association and start asking more. And the hotel associations themselves, we have to reinvent, right? The other thing is, I see the value, and he was pointing, Tiago, you were pointing out to the value of travel tech, and I think this is the Tech Companies Association, right? And this is where we have to be collaborative and really work to give value to the client, right? It's not about doing everything ourselves, and that's what we are going to need in the future to be more efficient and really deliver like quality service. And then I completely agree that through automation, you just eliminate those very silly tasks that a very highly prepared person would not want to do, and then you can put them to deliver more value to you and to your operation, right? You can get them to do other things that are more important. So I completely agree, and I think that's a very big silver lining, right? That technology is here to help you make better use of your team, right?
Yes. I tend to agree with Tiago and Alejandro, because it's what we described as our mission. It's to liberate the knowledge workers, and to liberate the knowledge workers, you must liberate them from stupid, between commas, of course, don't want to offend anyone, but the stupid tasks that they spend hours and hours doing. Like, of course, I will address a little bit more when it's my turn, but like making compilations of several data sources in one spreadsheet to give to someone to take a decision. But in the next day, that spreadsheet with that data and information is already overcome by time, so it's not any more useful. So let's repeat that again. And I think that one of the points that Tiago said goes right on this purpose, on this goal.
Clarissa, you want to make a point?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, many things I wanted to mention have been already mentioned. I can only agree and stress one further point that it's very important for me, since we are talking about HR, human resources, and I want really to mention again something that Tiago already mentioned, which is the word education. I think we do have to make an extra effort from everybody, from hoteliers, human resources, hotel manager, for us, technology. Everybody should make an effort in putting resources and time and effort in the education of the employees, education from our side in educating on our process as long as they develop, because we are continuously developing our technologies, and also the human resources also thinking, okay, times are changing. Maybe one person does not fit anymore in one role, yet think about how we can reinvent and how we can use our human resources in the best way, and put in also where it's needed, and also according to their personality and their skills and their strengths, and continue educating. Education, I think it's a very, very big word for everybody, and I think that everybody will continue to increase the effort and resourcing in this area.
Thank you so much, Clarissa. So thank you, everybody. I assume the next question it's for, I don't remember who it's going to be, but I think it's Clarissa. It's all yours, Clarissa.
So let's go to the second one, which is a little bit a provocative question. I have to say sorry for the way I'm spelling Shirka. I'm sorry for that. Shirka. Do we actually need technology to manage hotels?
Well, I guess we are all coming from technological space, so I guess we are expected to say yes. I think, I started in hospitality as a software engineer, so my perspective is a little bit split. There is one thing that I want to point out, because hospitality has been always about providing service to customers, about people, and customers first is kind of the mantra of hospitality. And suddenly, if you look at your experiences in hotels, it doesn't look exactly like that many times. Unfortunately, at least when I'm traveling, I spend a lot of time in a reception area to get like a plastic card like this one to get into my room. And the person that's standing behind the reception desk is looking more into their computer screen than like talking to me or looking at me. So basically, if you look back, you can see that the technology kind of took over hospitality, and we've developed a lot of processes, ceremonies, habits, and things like that to satisfy the technology. And I think that's really important to look at and change. because guests will come back only if they have some kind of remarkable experience, something that they really remember, and something that they have a reason to come back for. And usually, if you're looking at someone punching numbers into a computer, that's not really it. You know, and the guys were already saying it here, that this year was a lot about giving the control over the stay to guests, digitalizing check-ins, check-outs. And if you do that, if you give that control to the guest, they can most probably nowadays talk to the computer themselves. You don't have to employ a person just to do that. And that comes for the front office operations, but also obviously technology can help us to automate communication, analytics, distribution channels, really end to end. But you know, if you look at the guest experience, how it can change and how it changed this year, it's really something that guests can manage themselves. It makes your operations more efficient, because if I submit my credentials online, what is there to do? Like, you will welcome me, you will give me the plastic card, or I will use some kind of self-checking kiosk, and I can go to my room. So like, that goal is done, and those people can do something much more efficient than retyping numbers into a computer, or actually they can talk to the guests and make guests happy instead of making technology happy. That's a vast difference. So like, I think that definitely we need technology to do that, because technology makes us more efficient, but we need it to, you know, support the operations, help us scale the operations, make it faster, automate it, make it less error prone, but definitely not to overtake the hospitality itself. That's something that people have to perform. So I think what's important, and it kind of ties to the previous question also, we need to rethink the whole experience. We need to rethink where computers really need to be involved and where not. I think that the best technology is kind of invisible. If you know that it's supporting you, but you don't have to interact with it in an explicit way. Those are the guest journey things that we are doing at Mews. We are really trying to provide online check-in. This year we launched online checkout. We see people paying online, paying for their minibar, using the self-check-in kiosk to cut the card. And what it does also on the operational side of the hotel is more efficient, because there are less repetitive tasks to do. It's driving less errors, because the guests will actually complete the data correctly, rather than if you have a bulk of papers at the night shift and you need to retype it into a computer. And also it helps the hoteliers to look broader on the market. So like, you no longer have to be specialist for a specific software, because the software is now easier and easier, and more people are able actually to interact with it.
Thank you, Jiří. I think we can quickly summarize all what you said in a simple way, with a recommendation maybe to our hoteliers, which are our partners. Automate as much as you can. You are more efficient in the operation, and take care of your guests. Take care and focus on your guest relationship, and to deliver the best guest experience, you know, and technology will support you in this. That's our job, to support you in giving you more time for your guests.
Thank you, Clarissa. Somebody else want to make a point or say something or some insights about Jiří? If not, Alejandro will move to the next question. Alejandro.
I'm hearing that silence, right? So I'm going to fill it very quickly.
Enjoy the silence. Let's put some textual music.
Silence is my dread enemy. You know that, Vinny. You know me already. So the thing is, I'm going to really tie this one directly with Alfredo, right? And Alfredo, I'm going to put you in the hot spot here, because like he is already saying that we need technology. But what is the actual role of technology for hotels? What should technology be doing?
Yeah, I think that the answer is very aligned with what Jiří said. But in any case, I think that technology is able, to break the standard concept of service in terms of price and quality. I mean, delivering the best service normally brings more costs and higher prices. And hospitality, the balance between the prices and the customer satisfaction is a key factor. So in this digital area we live, the customer has a lot of information. They can easily compare between alternatives when they want to choose a hotel, and maybe they have two main points in order to make up their minds in different available options. They say prices and customer satisfaction or review ratings. Now it's very easy. Everybody will say, okay, we compare pricing and review ratings. That's everybody looking for. And for example, within the same rating, the customer will probably choose the one with the best price. And within the same price range, they probably will choose the best rating, So it means that hotels, from my point of view, should focus in two variables. First of all, processes optimizations in order to be efficiency and have and allow them to have competitive prices, okay? And also customer satisfaction in order to get the best rating. So they need to mix both. And I think that, as I mentioned before, the challenge to increase the customer satisfaction, but at the same time reduce the cost, is only possible with technology, because if not, you should try to add in value with more cost. Is more expensive. So that's it. The magic mix there will be, okay, I put technology, I can increase the customer satisfaction, but also I can reduce my cost. So this is, I think that the different technology for hospitality are focusing on simplifying, automating all the manual processes, because that's where we have been talking on this forum, and also the previous one, everybody was talking about automations, because we think that all the repeated tasks that they are doing day by day without any add value to the customer, it should be deleted or should be done by a system, and also, and of course, doing all those really add value tasks by the humans, because, for example, those credit card validation, charges, invoicing, housekeeping management, online checking, everything could be done automatically. So, for example, also, I think that you were talking about also about checking as a process, that maybe it doesn't add any value to the customer if they have to spend a lot of time in a queue. And if you see a standard process, a standard check-in, you will see that in the 10 minutes they can take, maybe the 8 minutes, the receptionist is only typing on the keyboard and printing the formulary, getting the key card and everything. And then the last 2 minutes is when the receptionist just say, okay, welcome to the hotel. Those are the services. And those last 2 minutes are the really time that is adding value to the guest and also to the receptionist. So from my point of view, automate all those tasks are really important, and of course to get this mix of customer satisfaction and also be more efficient. I think that also another example is that technology can help us or get the possibility to personalize the guest experience. I think that in the past it was almost impossible or very expensive to manage the knowledges of the guests and just to validate if the guest has been already staying in your hotels, which are their preferences, their needs. And now I think that even small hotels, they can have it very easy way, because the system and all the information allows you to have that. So you can personalize the guest experience and increase the customer satisfaction without very small costs. So in short, for me, the role of the technology is in hospitality especially, is to allow the hotels to delight their customers, increasing their customer satisfaction while keeping efficiency on the processes and reducing the prices and the cost. That's the technology part in this industry, I think.
Well, thank you very much for that. And I think summarizing it, basically technology is there to enable us to really work on what the client really matters, right? So I don't care how you validate my credit card. I don't give two dimes about it, right? And I remember a hotelier a number of years ago who Vinicius and I know quite well. And I remember him telling, or we were talking about innovation and automation, and I was super frustrated that it always came from outside of hospitality, right? So we saw a lot of companies coming, not from the space. I told him, why do you think that is? And he said, the thing is, my business is to give awesome experiences and sell rooms. Your business is giving me technology to allow me to focus on that, right? So I think that's the silver lining. That's what we have to aim for with technology.
And I think that also, Alejandro, just to complement your comment, I think that also the day by day activities, they're always in there. I spent a lot of hours in reception when we designed Lean PMS, and we saw that there is a lot of processes that are repeating. For them, it's normal. No, it's okay. We need to get the machine, the terminal, and validate the credit card every time. So why? You can do it by the system automatically. Or no, I need to create the invoice and I need to send it by email. I need to print the PDF and put it on an email and send it and create the deposit. So, and it's normal for that. They don't see out of this, So that I agree with you that this is our role, as a tech companies, just to show them that the technology is able to help them and to add value to the customer, which another activities, and do not spend a lot of hours doing those administrative tasks.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything on top of that.
I can add something. I think that one thing that Alfredo talked about was that there were two main things: the process optimization and the customer satisfaction. And I totally agree with you, Alfredo. But adding on top of that, I think that something is lacking within the hotels is always to be able to measure. I mean, within this process optimization and customer satisfaction, they need to be able to measure and not take measures without measuring things. So that's key. I mean, if you want to optimize the process before you implement, make sure that you have metrics. If you want to analyze the customer satisfaction within that same process that could have an impact on your guest, make sure that you have metrics to take wise decisions. And that's key on how to improve that.
I just want to make a point here also, as we're talking about PMSs. PMS is the core system for a hotel. Why? Because they centralize most everything. They centralize our incoming taxes. They centralize the customers. They centralize cleaning rooms, restaurants. But however, I repeat this with a lot of times, and I will do it again. Why it's so important, the PMS? Because the PMS already have all the data that you need to understand your client. How? That's impossible. I cannot understand only with the PMS my client. Yes, you can, because there you just need to filter, and you can understand each client spend more, each client buy each kind of room. You can turn that in a year, and then for quarters of the year, you can understand from where they're coming. Of course, if everything's integrated, but if you have a receptionist that choose the E and put Afghanistan, maybe you're going to have a lot of Afghanistan people coming. So one thing that is very important, have everything connected. But with that, all that data, you can take a lot of decisions that will apply for your sales team, for your marketing team, for the general experience of the guest, and you understand each guest. You can do that, and then you can segmentate your guests. You can choose, for example, I have this kind of guest that spend a lot, they use this and that, they request champagne. Then you can create a package. You can set a strategy. So PMS is really, really important. All the others that PMS alone, it's important, but not if you go manually, everything needs to be integrated at the end of the day. And I have a personal question. It's not a timing, but I will profit. I will profit concerning the PMSs. What the professionals here think is the key of the PMS for a hotelier? Just with bullets, just 2 or 3 points. Who wants to talk? Why is so important the PMS for a hotel, and how this helps the hotel? Because we have hoteliers that use today PMS that is not on cloud, that is not connected most with no one, and this is not something very little. It's huge. You have a huge amount, and you have a huge amount of hoteliers that don't want to change it, still have the server. Why is so important have a PMS on cloud, and how is so important have a professional and up to date for the 20th century, 21st century that we are? Just a little question. You can answer with 2 bullets or 3 bullets. Why? Who starts? This is not a program. I just put myself in. I'm sorry.
I will jump in because you know, like everything's online nowadays. The guests are online, the distribution channels are online, everything's online. And then for some reason there is a on-premise property management system lying on a server somewhere in a back office. It's just not connected to the internet properly. It's not up to date. The technology is evolving super fast, and the version that's on that server is like 5, 10, 15 years old. You cannot integrate anything into it. And obviously, I'm coming from a property management system company, so like we are focusing on the core functionality of a property management system, on the data security, on automating payments and keeping them secure, on gathering the data. And then we have marketplace of 450 other partners who can connect to us and build your own ecosystem on top of it. And once again, that's very much possible because the solution is in cloud, and it's like it takes 30 minutes to connect, and you are set up and you can utilize it. So it's really, and as a bonus point, you can use it from your mobile phone when you're lying on a beach. So all positives.
Thank you, Jiří. Alfredo, tell me the negative points. You don't have a PMS.
No. It's not
yes, tell me the negative points.
Positive. We are
because
you won't find any negative points.
Well,
I will say one point that is a little bit technical, but you know, the effect on the user is very important. You know, I completely agree with Jiří with all this what he said, but also I think that the cloud versions allows us as a technology providers to, you know, to improve the tool every day. So we are doing releases on Lean PMS almost every day when we're releasing new versions, and this is almost impossible with when on-premise solution. So we can, the version that you have today in Lean is not the same you have last week, and every day we are improving. So this evolution of the tool, you have, like with the SaaS model, this I think the magic part of the SaaS model. So you are paying a fee, but you have the last technology every time. So you are not getting all, I have 15 years old software installed in my PC. No, you have the last one with the best security, with the best solution, and also for the integration, I think it's a must, you know, to be in cloud. In our case, we have also to connect with some local application, and also I think that in the Mews you have the same problems we have as us, and this is a nightmare because we need to do some, you know, connection with locally with the network. Now the cloud is done easy to connect with everybody with APIs and so on. So I think that we're now in the transition, and I agree, Vinicius, there is a lot of hotels still in the past on this point of view, but I think that it will be like 20 years ago, not all hotels have websites, you know, and now everybody have one. So I think that it will be, you know, it's natural. We are in the transition, but it's normal, and will be the future, of course, that all of this will be in cloud. It doesn't make sense to do it in a different way.
Thank you a lot.
Vinicius, I can give you the negative point if you like, because you asked for it. And I think, yeah, because I think, I mean, why it is important why it is important to have in a PMS. I would add why it is important to have in a performing PMS, and a PMS that goes with our days. And if you don't know or unsure why it is important, I just recommend to go for a job in the reception, make your experience, and then we talk.
True.
Carissa, I agree with you, and I'm not going to name any names, but Jiří made a very good point. So host, like let's just say server hosted systems and migrations, and I remember one doing it on December the 31st to have clear balances. So please, we need to stop that, right? So I'm making my personal disclaimer here. Like,
and also the backups, Alejandro. You know, they need to do the
don't
backups.
Get me started. That's travel tech number 57, right? So that is take a whole new chapter.
Okay.
Well, I think that there's one metric that is can clear everything, because I in my 15 years working to the market, I also worked in the PMS companies, of course. And you can say to update a version from 4 or 5 hours to 1 or 2 minutes. So I think everything is said. Of course, that what Clarissa said is very important. Performance is very important. But I don't think that performance is negatively affected by a cloud-based PMS. At least we don't have that experience here. It's not often.
No. When I talk about the negative points, it's not on the cloud. It's the negative points to have a server, to maintain that server, the cost, the electrical cost, the IT that you need to pay to be there. If you have I don't know, if you have an issue with the energy, so you stop. You literally stop. That's what I mean. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt everybody and do this, but it's part of the show. Come on, let's move forward with the questions. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, so Prithwish, the next question is for you. So
Hi.
how does technology help hotels to manage their huge operations even with smaller teams?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Clarissa. Thanks, Vinny, again. For me, the word hospitality, I will come directly to the question, but before that, the word hospitality means, friendly and generous reception and entertainment of guests and visitors. People play an important, part in any hospitality business, as they are the ones who can make a guest, feel welcome. However, given the current situation that we all are in, various hotels have had to reduce their staff strength, right, to ensure business continuity, while at the same point of time, they are ensuring smooth operations as well. And it is during such time that, the technology, automation, and more importantly, training of existing staff will play a key role for the running and management of a business. Honestly speaking, people are still and will always be needed. However, right now, given the scenario, business is now required to do more with less. So while multitasking has become an important skill, but at the same point of time, having the right technology has become supremely important. We all know that with new restrictions and quarantine rules come into place with very short interval, with very short notice in some regions, mostly in Europe. Okay, hoteliers are experiencing much shorter lead times with potential vaccines on the horizon, because we are getting the news every day, be it AstraZeneca, be it Moderna, be it Pfizer. Hotels should look forward to a resurgence of bookings, but most importantly, having a clear health and safety protocol with high standards will always remain key criteria for guests. Communication and messaging around the guest and employees' well-being will definitely win guest confidence, but hoteliers will also need to offer greater flexibility in terms of booking policies and willingness to amend bookings. Having said that, I was talking about cloud technology when I introduced myself. What I believe that cloud technology, as everyone is speaking about, the SaaS model on the cloud part, the cloud technology is an ideal foundation for hotels, who want to be able to quickly implement and adopt themselves with meaningful technologies, to accommodate and meet these, rapidly changing environment, rapidly changing demands. Cloud technology is always efficient with no upfront, capital cost or no need for on-site staffing, and it's become cost-effective as well. Frankly speaking, at any given point, under any circumstances, cloud technology is beneficial. But having said that, in an already competitive industry, it will be even more important for hotels to differentiate themselves and having the ability to quickly innovate. For us, like for eRevMax, we are a technology company. 19 years down the line, we are committed to our customers, our partners, and the entire hospitality industry in providing, support services to help them navigate and to help them navigate and adapt to this new environment, this new normal environment, I would say. With so many hotel employees, they are impacted by COVID-19 situation. eRevMax is providing unlimited product training, so hotel employees can, at any point of time, can brush up their knowledge and broaden their skills. In fact, we have been receiving, a number of training requests, which actually highlights and proves that the industry is resilient and people are preparing to bounce back. I will just give you a short example, a very glaring example of how a Saudi, upscale hotel, experiences revenue growth in this pandemic situation. This is a 4-star property in Saudi Arabia. Steadily, they have a growth of 25% since 2018 via our CRS solution. Further, during the pandemic the pandemic situation, this hotel's team found that the CRS that they are using is more beneficial. Why? As a matter of fact, due to COVID-19 pandemic, they can clearly identify that that were generating, identify the channels that were generating bookings, and which helped them bounce back and improve revenue efficiently. As you all know, and it's a glaring fact that demand dropped significantly with international travel coming to a standstill, correct? However, even then, this hotel experienced 3 to 5% increase in revenue compared to pre-pandemic level. Their occupancy started improving from July 2020, driven by domestic demand from key regional channels. Moreover, their direct business used to be only 1 to 2% of total bookings through direct walk-ins. These comparatively changed last year when they implemented the booking engine. They currently receive almost 7% of all bookings through their brand website. That is a direct revenue, and this is a substantial improvement. Okay, so I think cloud-based technology will really help hotels to manage their huge operations even with smaller teams during this pandemic period. Over to you, Clarissa.
Thank you so much, Prithwish. I don't know if anybody wants to make some comments on that. Otherwise, I would move forward to the next question, and we spent a little bit more than 5 minutes, and then we can recap the time. Alejandro, over to you.
Yeah, for sure. And Luís, I'm gonna pick it up with you. And coming from a couple of years of doing SaaS and business intelligence and big data, so I think that it's daunting for hotels the amount of info they need, right? And where to pick it, because selection is one problem, right? We've seen intoxication through COVID being a big issue, right?
Yes.
So I think the question is, what are the key sources of the data that a hotel should pick, right? And how should they use them with their management teams? How to make best use of them?
Yes, I think that's the key, one of the key questions, Alejandro and all. That's even more for a small team running in a hotel. I think it's even more important. Nevertheless, it's important for everyone. I think that technology, and we are all from tech background, technology is here to help, is here for the hoteliers, and here to help the sector. And Vini was saying something very interesting, that and I do agree with that. PMS is the central part of any hotel operation. I do agree with that. The most important and the central data about our guests, it's in the PMS. And we can call that, even though it could be large amounts of data and information, we could call that small data. In fact, sometimes big groups don't like to hear this, but that's reality. But how can we put that large amounts of data in actionable insights? How can we transform that data into intelligent information? because you go to a PMS, okay, you can select, can make filters, you can select lists of things, you can do a lot of things, but the big picture is difficult to get. That's why I was saying in the beginning of our conversation that I was a vendor of PMS a lot of years, and I was that's why I had a big proximity to hotel operations, and I always have seen 1, 2, 3 people like spending hours and hours per day getting, as Alexander was saying, several sources of information, and to get all that joined in a document, in an Excel spreadsheet, whatever, that they would give to someone to take a decision. And of course, the decision time is too fast to wait for all of this. There are other sources of information. We always talk about marketplaces. That's very important to connect all the partners. That puts things much more easier to everyone, of course, and PMSs, and there are some cases that are doing huge efforts on these fields. But even so, there's always the part of take data to actionable insights, and that's what we think it's one of the important things to do. That's what we are doing in our company, is to put in one place all the sources of information that are important to take decisions, and to take decisions in real time, and to have insights in a really fast way. And not only insights, you can have, I think, things like alerts. One of the trends to the next year, it's already this year was a trend, but I think next year will increase a lot, because teams are small. There are a lot of this pandemic situation have timed up the operations, so profitability it's more and more on tension on business, on hotel business. So it's a natural and logical thing that teams will be small. So when teams are small, you need to have information on the palm of your hand. That's one of the trends to 2021, already reality this year, but it's going to increase in our opinion, is the mobile BI, mobile analytics, mobile information. But you have to have all the sources centralized in one spot. That's our philosophy. That's why we can and we connect with several PMSs, with several data sources, with benchmark information, with flights information, with reviews information, with all the CRM tools like HiJiffy, for instance, that have lots of data, important data that we can centralize. That's our vision of the thing. And if you have all that centralized in one place, in only one place, that gives you all the information that you like, especially if that information is transformed in insights with the actionable dashboards, when you can manage the key searches that you are doing, the KPIs that you are analyzing, that you can even, and that's something that we are working very hard now. I think it's another trend for 2021, the predictive and the prescriptive analytics that not only give you the scenarios that you can change variables or KPIs and give you different scenarios immediately. This must be fast. Nowadays, no one has the patience to wait for anything more. And the biggest platforms in the world, like Uber, like Amazon, whatever, several of them took one thing out of the people's minds, that is patience. No one has patience anymore. So for an hotelier, you have to have everything in the palm of your hand, and all the information that you need there from several sources, not only the PMS, even though PMS is central, I do agree. So that's for small teams. Our philosophy and our product and our work is right there, is to centralize in one place all the key sources that comes from several fonts of and origins of data. And I think with that, we can have an hotel operation run and well managed by a small team, and that's our main contribution to the sector.
Yeah, and I completely agree, Luís. And I think you mentioned two very important points. So one is that information has to be actionable, right? So if you cannot do anything with information, then just put it on the trash bin because it doesn't work. And I can relate it to that old adage of saying information is power, but if useless information is powerless, right? So it doesn't serve any purpose. So I think you're right on that. I had a boss at a SaaS company that always said smart, but just focus on A, right? So accountable, actionable, use it, right? And just bring me things that you can use, that I can use to make my business better, right? If not, it doesn't serve any purpose. I don't know if anyone wants to add on top of Luís's.
Yeah, I just wanted to expand on what Luís was saying in the sense of centralization, because this year we were also introducing our analytic tools into our cloud platform. And what we've seen is, what you described on like a team of people preparing a report from various sources, putting them together. We've seen this also on the level above, which means if you have a group of properties, what you described is happening in each and every single individual property. And then there is, they will start Monday 9 a.m. By noon, they would upload it to a headquarters FTP server. And then they would have a bunch of people in headquarters trying to run macros and do the exact same thing, trying to resolve inconsistencies in reporting. It's by far not real time. So it really happens on both levels.
Yes, I totally agree, and especially if you have, well, we were talking about small teams in one property, but if you have like a group of 30, 50 hotels working in consolidation, the nightmare could be a gigantic task, as you were saying. So with this approach that we are doing, and I know that you guys are also doing that, you can have a group's numbers consolidated in 20 seconds. Things like that. So the information, the data can't be anymore in the future like this nightmare that was in the past. And with the technology that we have now in our hands, is totally possible. We are doing that already, and others are doing that already. So it's not like a fantasy anymore. You can have a consolidation of a group with 20 hotels in less than 1 minute. And with also, one thing is important, actionable information, like Alejandro was highlighting also, but also tools for the people, for the human resources, for the teams. And what I mean by tools is if you have to do, for instance, a presentation, sometimes it's a nightmare to a person. Let's make a presentation to the board or to the owner of the property. If you have a tool, and we worked on that, that gives you already everything that you need, even beautiful graphs, beautiful images to put and to sustain and to give strength to your conclusions. Well, someone can do a presentation in 20 minutes, even less today. So I think that's the interesting and also the beauty part on this, that technology is there to help the hoteliers, to help people, to help the teams. And but we also have to be successful, we tech companies, to prove this to them, to give them tools, to give them useful tools. Alejandro was saying that we also, because if you have a lot of data split by a lot of places, well, you have the information there, but what are you going to do with that? So I think that 2021 and the pandemic has accelerated this, as everyone says, and I think, and I do agree. I think that tech will have another visibility in the operation of an hotel. I think that's an opportunity for all of us.
Thank you very much, Luís. And I think because we've reached the end of round one, Vini, would you like to recap something before we go into round two?
No, I think for myself, it's okay. I agree with everything that Luís. So it's okay. Let's move forward.
Okay, I think so. Just for the audience, remembering that if you post any questions and don't miss the opportunity to ask all of these amazing professionals, we'll answer all those questions by the end of the session. So I think let's go deep into round two for the sake of time.
And if we don't have questions, don't worry, people. If we don't have questions, myself, Alejandro, and Clarissa, we will do it. So you don't move forward to say, oh, okay, no questions, good, I'm leaving. No,
I have a million questions, so.
So we're gonna do that at the end. Don't worry. Let's move forward.
Vinny, we have to stop. No way to run.
So I leave. Bye.
Okay, Carissa, the floor is yours then.
Yes, so I would now to focus a little bit our attention on today. And I mean, we are used to live in at a very high level of uncertainty and challenges. But I think that this year the pandemic has put an extra pound on our challenges and on the uncertainty, what will be the future, and what should we do today in order to cope with this very special times. In terms of technology, I would maybe go for the question with maybe Prithwish. And what do you think, which are the best tools are absolutely essential for hotels in current times, now, in this very peculiar situation?
Okay. Thanks, Clarissa, once again. For me, while there are various technology systems that a hotel needs to run its daily operations, what I believe, I would like to point out, some of the key ones, which I have in my mind from the guest and revenue perspective. Number one in my mind, because as these gentlemen are from PMS, so cloud-based PMS or CRS for managing booking data, occupancy status and rates. Next would be channel manager for seamless flow of reservations from various demand sources. Okay. Third, booking engine and chatbots for aiding direct revenue. Fourth, business analytics, for competitor tracking and production visibility. Next would be guest review or reputation management tool. So the hoteliers need to know how their guests are giving them review and how they're responding to it, how they're running pre and post service. Last but not the least, thinking about the pandemic situation, contactless check-in, check-out, in-room ordering. Okay. Having said that, as I was talking about cloud technology earlier as well, automation of tasks and doing more with less has been the drivers behind innovation in every industry, in each and every industry, you will find out. Over the past several months, we have seen that various hotels have reduced their staffing levels, resulting in the need of employees to cover more areas of the hotel operations than before. So multitasking has become the new norm. Reducing manual tasks through automation and use of artificial intelligence will actually help the hoteliers to maintain a high level of guest service, even with lower staff, numbers. Now, with the rapidly changing, consumer behavior, with the ever-evolving guest expectation, we expect that the artificial intelligence is to take a even bigger role in the coming days. In fact, our new CRS, which is powered by LiveOS, is a pure analytics-based platform, which allows the hoteliers to understand and dive deep down of how they are performing, how their hotel is performing, what area they are getting, what kind of occupancy they are getting, the reservations, and first and foremost, what is their profitability, and how hotels can improve, their business revenue. Now, I have talked a lot about the technology solutions, the systems. Now, as I have pointed out, that it is innovation that has been driving the hotel business. So again, for the last several months, the hospitality industry has seen and experienced tremendous disruption. And apart from that, we have seen the hoteliers are innovating. Innovating in which ways? Like they're innovating, they're utilizing their guest rooms for work from home packages, offering their banquets, conference halls as hired workspaces, and in fact using their hotel restaurants and kitchen for delivery takeaway orders to generate revenue to continue their business in any form and shape. So I think, as I mentioned about the technology tools earlier and the innovations, so these are essential for any hotels in the current times to ensure the business continuity. Thanks, Clarissa. Once again, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, British, for your contribution on this point. And maybe a further little recommendation to our hoteliers partners. We do know that these are really, really hard times, and occupancy level are at the minimum. So we know the challenges, but my recommendation would be use this, on the other hand, golden time to optimize all processes, education, and work together with your technology partner in order to optimize your collaboration also with them. And those time will finish. The guests will come back. We will have again hotels with 100% occupancy. And when this will come back, then you will realize that this time that you spent in working close to your technology partner will then give good results. So that's my recommendation. Does anyone else wants to make some comment at this point?
Just a brief comment about Prithwish comment. I think that also I agree with him, and especially with the order he mentioned all the technologies, no? Because it's also important that maybe some hotels needs more tools, and maybe one of them is more important than other depending on the needs. Because, for example, I'll give you an example. We had a customer in Madrid with 400 rooms, and they asked us for put a self-service kiosk in the hotel, because they have only one receptionist in the night, and there's a lot of huge queues in the reception desk. And when we were there to implement the kiosk, we were back the reception desk, and we saw 3 people putting all the reservations in the PMS because they don't have any channel manager. So you say, okay, you are asking to implement a kiosk, but you don't have a channel manager. You have 3 people creating the reservation on the PMS manually, but you have only one receptionist getting the contact with the guests. Okay, you need a kiosk, but first of all you need a channel manager. So it's also important that not only it's okay to list as Prithwish list all the technologies that is necessary for the hotel, but also it's important to pick the one that are really needed, depending on the cases. Because I agree that all of them should be necessary, and we are always thinking that it is the main point, but also it's important just to see which of them are really needed for specific cases.
Thank you, Alfredo, for making a real example on what we're talking about. Thank you. Alejandro, over to you for the next question.
Good, thank you. And I was just browsing through the questions, and some touch very similar topics. I'm going to try and chain them all together. Maybe one can start, but then we all link our thoughts. So I think, Alfredo, we are seeing that this has been a turning point in our industry, right? So the pandemic has been like a before and after kind of event that I, in my lifetime, thought I would never see, right? So what do you think would be the future of tech after this? So we wake up after COVID, what is tech looking like? And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and because we're seeing some couple of questions, is we're gonna talk about the role and the impact of tech trends, and is this just like a passing thing, or is it gonna stay after COVID? But let's start with you and say, what do you see as the future of tech after this?
Yeah, I think that as I don't remember who mentioned that, but I completely agree that this COVID situation has accelerated all the process of the digitalization, because everybody said, no, maybe I will need it in the future, but they realized that they really now, and the technology is also available. And I think that the future of the tech solution in hospitality, from my point of view, will be like a 4 main challenges in the future. The first one is the connectivity. We also comment something about that, because I think that back in the 90s, there were only main one tool, that is the PMS. They manage everything, and the PMS you can be able or should be able to do everything: accounting, statistics, customer relationship, revenues, and whatever. No, so it makes sense that in the past it was like this, but now I really believe that the evolution of the market should be that different companies will develop smart and specialized technology, as we saw here in travel tech. So there is a lot of companies doing great things, and it's not possible just to consider. And I think that some PMS are still considered that, and we are focused completely opposite on this opinion, that we are not trying to do everything. We are not good on on rates, or we are not the best on revenue management, because this is not our job, So all of them need to be focused on their own job to be done, as it said, So I think that connectivity and collaboration will be, of course, a challenge in the future, and all of the systems should be, very open with the APIs to integrate, and do not, in the past, the past of the PMS was, very, very close to open to do integration with expensive certifications and so on. I think that in the future we should be focused on that. We should understand, all the stakeholders of this industry, that the collaboration is basic. The second one is the usability, and I know that you mentioned about the education and training of the team. That is our base, and I agree with this, but I think that the new generation of users are getting used to more and more simple and easy interfaces, because they are using every day their smartphone with an application or website, and they don't need training to do that. So at the present and in the past, people add in their resumes experience on a specific system. So you will see in the skills, I'm an expert on this PMS or in this. So I think that in the future it will not make it will not make sense. In the case of, for example, nobody put in their resumes, I know how to use WhatsApp. I don't know how to create a reservation on Booking.com. Nobody put those on the resumes, because this is very simple, and almost everybody can do that. So I think that the future of the tech tools will be on that way, being done simple, that you should find the best reception is not because he's the best using this tool, but because he is the best doing, the services and the customer experience. The third one I see will be the automation and self-service, because I think that despite of robots being humanoid machines interacting with the customer, I think that the robots would be inside the system to automate the processes, as we said. And as Henry Ford said, no man should be forced to do a work that a machine can do, So if the system can do by their own, why do you put people introducing reservation? It doesn't make sense, So I think that it will be also the future. We will see more and more automation, but especially I think there will be easy self-service processes, not in the way that we see now, and with kiosks, physical kiosks, and so on. No, I think that the future will be that the self-service, the customer will participate in the process without even know it. So they can just appear with their face recognition and just enter in the hotel with the smartphone and bid some searches. So the system will receive some triggers from the user as a self-service, but there is not, with the long task and long complicated task for the user. So it will be self-service, but not in the point that we are seeing now. And the fourth and last but not least, I think that's the personalization. And I think that not only about the guest experience personalization, because where are we talking about now? We should personalize the experience for the guest. That's okay, but the tech solution should be also open to personalize the experience of the users using the tool. And I know that the SaaS tools, we as a SaaS company, is very complex to do that, because you have like one application, but it doesn't make sense that one PMS will be the best PMS for a Caribbean resort and for a small property in the center, in city center, you know. So for that reason, I think that also the tools will be adapting to the processes and for the different type of hotels with some, I don't know, huge quantity of settings that you can just turn off and turn on in order just to have your own tool. So personalization, I think that will be also focused in the future on the tool. In the past, the user should adapt to the system. And I think that even we are SaaS companies, we should also be open to adapt to the processes. Okay.
Oh, no, I completely agree. So you touch upon collaboration. I think yesterday we say open API, open platform or die, right? That kind of silver lining was there. And I agree with you with one big thing is I still hate recruiters saying, oh, we need you to know how to do C++ or something. Is I would rather hire someone clever and learn the tool, or even like Excel. When someone asks for Excel knowledge, I would say Excel should already be able to say, hey, calculate 1 + 1 and do it on its own, right? So that's what we want to take technology, right? That's the future. That is trends. So Luís, do you agree with this? Do you see the same trends? What other trends do you see in technology post 2021?
Well, well, speaking a little bit more about tech trends that are related with information and the domain of information, because Alfredo, Helmich, Tiago, Prithwish already talked about automation of operations, and I do believe and I do agree with everything that they said. It's quite important. It's going to happen. It's going to be accelerated in 2021. I think there are also some important trends on the manipulation of information. One of those already was mentioned here, artificial intelligence. I think that even though my generation has a lot of afraid of Skynet or something like that, but well, joking. But I think it's something that's going to happen very strong. And artificial intelligence will have a part in our lives in the tools, supporting the tools that will help us to manage and to rule some aspects of our lives, very important. Another one will be the data discovery tools, meaning by that things like embedded analytics and the simple thing that you have to interact with your mobile phone and your data analytics tool and saying a word like revenue. And that tool will start to elaborate based on artificial intelligence, based on all the data and all the information that is prepared and to work in those algorithms, will start to give you and to show you meaningful insights and intelligent information immediately, so that as Alfredo was saying, and I agree with that, I see also a lot of resumes saying, I know how to work with this PMS, I know how to work with that PMS, I know. And I think that in the future, in 2021, I think it's going to be a very strong year, very interesting and fantastic year on these aspects. You won't need that. You won't need to be a programmer. I think, and it's our philosophy here in the company, is maybe we don't have to be dependent with certain platforms, even though they are, and this could be like a sin to a lot of people, what I'm going to say, even though they are so powerful, things like Power BI, Click, like a lot of platforms that in this moment have a certain domain about analytics, but maybe you can be agnostic of those platforms and you don't need to work with them. You need to make requests, and those requests that we are saying, everyone knows how to work with WhatsApp. And why is that? It's because WhatsApp is a very simple platform. No, of course not. It's a very complex one. It's a very intelligent, very smart one that everyone's almost naturally, you know how to work with WhatsApp. And we believe, and and our work is trying to go on that way, that you don't need to have a huge training to work with tools, with tech tools that help you on your daily basis to running an hotel operation. That's not the same thing that I agree with Clarissa. She was talking about education. I think it's a different thing. I'm talking about training. With education, I totally agree with Clarissa. About training in tools, I think that they must be intuitive and that they must be almost agnostic of a lot of things. And if I go to my mobile, I'm in a traffic jam, for instance. It happens a lot in a lot of cities, as we know. And I put my mobile and I say, well, tell me about the operation of Hotel X. How did it end yesterday? How it was? And you have to have a solution that will tell you a lot of things. And you can be provocative with that solution, saying, okay, what about occupation? What about reviews? Do we have negative reviews? We have positive reviews. And I'm sure that this will happen. And the tools and the tech tools will give you the information and responding with a response to your provocative words, let us say like that. And that's the way that we are working. So I was saying in my former intervention, I believe that marketplaces are important. Of course they are. But I think we are going to be in another stage, even after the marketplaces. It's a stage of collaborative information, collaborative tools with everyone, and these things will be possible to the technological advances like artificial intelligence. I was saying that data security also very important, and that normally we don't speak because it's not such a sexy thing called talking about data security, but it's one of the tech trends for the next years, of course. Software as a solution, BI, also collaborative business intelligence, and well, data automation, and something that that I think that is already a reality, but is going to be very important in the next year: real-time data, real-time analytics, with easy tools to interact. I think that's the challenge. In Clever, we are trying to have several developments on that path, on that way. And of course, it's I think will be a very interesting future in the next 1 or 2 years in all our companies that work for hospitality.
And I completely agree. And you mentioned UX and UI, but I'm going to pick up on a word that you said that is provocative. And I'm going to look at Jiří, right? So I know Mews and provocative go hand in hand. And you've always pushed forward, right? And you've always been provocative and challenging. And the thing is, I started my question saying, is this a passing thing? Are we seeing technology just for a couple of days and then people will fall back and say, oh, now I don't need technology anymore, right? What do you think about that?
I think that this year has shown us that the world can change basically between 2 days. A lot of things are different. As Clarissa was saying, the occupancies are low, and where some of the hotels had to really close, but some of them were still running or are still running, and they needed to look into completely reframing the operation, making it really safe. So I think everyone here already mentioned that this year accelerated the digitalization, and it really is like that. We've seen increasingly that our customers are more open to use online check-in, online checkout to control their properties from a distance place on a mobile phone, and really also for the guests, they feel more secure by not being in close contact with people, by checking themselves online, checking themselves out online, saying what they had from minibar, and using kiosks. And I think that once the industry comes back, I hope pretty soon next year when the vaccines are effective, I think that the technology will be still there to take over the bureaucracy and really for people to submit their credentials when they are waiting for a flight or something like that, not on premise in a queue. and like the staff in hotels will be able to really come back and host their guests, take care of them. So definitely the technology that was established this year and adopted this year will remain there. And that's really great because we always talk about AI and pushing it forward, and we've been provocative. I think our most provocative achievement ever was removing night audit from the system. We never built it, and hoteliers couldn't believe us that we don't have the functionality, and it could be done pretty easily. You just don't have to do it. Like, we still need to catch up in terms of we as hospitality with what's here already. That's the future already. It's here. We just need to migrate to it. We just need to catch up with it. And then obviously our tech companies, all of us who are here, we will be pushing it even further. But actually this year, this time when guests are not that much traveling, we have time to rethink the processes. We have time to upgrade the tech stack because we really have time to think about how the operations of the hotels are structured. And what we've also seen is that, and Prithwish was already talking about it, hotels try to diversify their businesses to become more resilient. So instead of relying just on hospitality, they tried to really convert the rooms into offices and provide not even accommodation, but really a isolated space for locals so that they drive different ways of businesses. But for that you don't need only a system to manage all of that, but it creates new distribution channels. It creates new sales and marketing strategies, because suddenly you are an office space and not a hotel. So it's really something where all of the tech stack and the connectivity through marketplaces and business intelligence need to come together and really help you run that like completely different business. And if you think about it, I think one thing that will really change going further is that, as Clarissa was saying, 100% occupancy. I think that's something that we will, like, 100% will not be 100%, because now 100% is if people sleep every night in a room, but suddenly you will want to utilize every second of that space that you have. If there is a 6 hours gap in the middle of the day, you will want to sell it as an office. You will have to change the way how the housekeeping works, how all the operations in the hotel works. So I think there's a lot of to come in that sense.
And it's super interesting how the three comments, and thank you for your insights, line up. Because for me, we are in a time where we have a problem that it's nice to have, right? So how I see it is, when people get a taste of future, they don't want to go to past, right? So it would be like telling someone using WhatsApp or Facebook today to go back and using ICQ, right? So and for the young people, sorry, we will explain what ICQ was in another session. But I mean, I think it's super important to understand that if the three of you are talking trends, are motioning towards future, the silver lining is then people will adopt that technology, but also will be much more demanding of all of your companies to have better products going forward, right? Yeah. And that's a nice problem to have, because that will steer innovation, that will force us to become better ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, again, it's one of the best periods in time. And again, I'm a guy, kind of a glass half full kind of guy after the pandemic, right? So pandemic caused a lot of damage, but also brought this opportunity upon us, right? Whether we like it or not. So thank you very much. Anyone else wants to add on top of that?
I wanted to add something very shortly to Luís. You talked about and mentioned about education and training, and I want to make a comment here. Obviously, education and training are two related things, but not the same, for sure. And I think, I mean, this is really important, for me. And I think it's important for us as technology partner to keep it simple. First of all, technology is great, and sometimes technology partner really doing extremely good things, but I always say, stop for a moment, put the shoes of the receptionist or the reservation manager or whatever, and think about, is that user-friendly? Is that intuitive? Is that quick? Because at the end, you can do great things, but if that's too difficult, then they leave it, you know, and we do know that they don't have so much time to do the training. They have another focus, and they should have another focus, which are the guests, you know. So don't forget to keep it simple. And I think that trainings must be there, and must be there also online and 24 hours a day. So the hoteliers, they do have, they have to have the possibility to do trainings anytime from any place, and we are there to deliver the technology to do also training on their own, and then come back to us if they have challenges, if they need more support on that. But the opportunity to do it 24 hours, 7 days a week must be there, and it must be easy. At the end of the day, successful technology is what is easy to use and easy to understand, and obviously performing and efficient. So thank you for making this point, because it's really very important thinking on our hoteliers partners.
I would like to make a point here very quickly, if you let me. Glenn is telling about training 24/7. She's totally right. But we still see a lot of companies that do not share on their websites self sessions for training, and this is something really bad. Why? So in the past, normally I'm working this on distributions for hotels from 2006, so it's 14 years in the market. Coming from Europe and different countries all over the world, and managing more than 36 different countries and more than 4,000 clients. In the past, in 2000s, normally nobody, it was like a war. I remember travel to eRevMax, that was very tiger, for example, as an example. If you want to share your solution in your film, now you just need to have a training personnel. Nobody wants to show their technology. I just give this examples. I don't want you. Please, Prithwish, don't be angry with me. It's just an example, please. Please.
It's all right.
Nobody wants to show their technology at all. It was like a secret, and we still find the same today. I think that kind of thing, it's really bad for the market. It's really bad for the hotelier. It's really bad for the company. Right now we have several companies that you can go, even if you not have that solution, you can go and have a self-training. You can go for videos explaining how the platform work on their extranet. They show their systems, and most of the companies still don't want to do that. That is this is the wrong thing. They will copy my technology. Come on, guys. We didn't know. We need to create codes. We need to create algorithms. You can see how something works, but then you need to show that. This is gonna have two good things. One, the hotelier will be able anytime to have their own training. They'll be able to access your website, feel comfortable. If they need an explanation, and maybe you're supporting, they will have the time. They need to have an agenda, and they don't want to wait. So you need to have this. Second point, this will help to spread your brand, to spread your technology for other customers that don't work with you, but they can see, I have this, I love this extranet. This, oh, they give me more API. Oh, they give me this. So that will help you. Have a learning center online is crucial for all the companies right now. If for those companies don't have it, do it. And don't make, somebody will copy me. Everybody can copy everywhere. Everybody, we know that. So the most important thing is provide this to the customer. And for those leads, or maybe those clients that are not your customer, that will help your company, that will help position your brand, that will help clients to know more about you without getting in touch. we're in a part of the world that right now people don't like too much to spend time having meetings or have presentations. All sales teams know that when you try, sometimes you need to have like 10 calls till you get an agenda. And if you have a decider, but maybe you can influence the other people, not the size of that company. Just tell them, hey, look, this is my link. Check out this my website. Check out how we do that. And we influence the team, and then you get the lead with the person that decides. It's just a point.
Well, before moving into Clarissa, so we can move to the last question because of the sake of time, let me just give you a real life example of what you just said. And this is from personal experience. So I just had my home networked by myself, like really. I threw all the Ethernet cable by just watching a YouTube video, right? So, and I'm not a network engineer myself. So that's how I think we need to think tech products for hospitality as well, right? Well, what you're saying is you can post a video where someone can just see working the technology and learn by itself. Like the self-learning experience should be at the core of how you develop UX and UI, right? That should be how you start. And again, if I was able to hardwire my whole home, then anyone else can do it, trust me. So I would say, Clarissa, you were gonna make a point, but also handing it over to you for the last question as well.
Do your point, Clarissa. We have time.
No, I just, no worry, not that important. I mean, you were calling me, you know, Vinicio, you were calling me with your comments. I couldn't agree more, probably because we are actually coming from same mutual past experiences. So we have lived personally this area. I am a very, very strong believer on, as I said, education, training available 24 hours, and making information available. It just have to be there, available. And if I can do it, you can do it yourself. So I don't want to, you know, go ahead because you were calling me and I had to say it.
I just want to make another leader point. What we see most, it's videos, but not self-learning, about the front, for example. Where I'm talking about PMSs right now. I'm talking about, for example, booking engines or metasearch. You always see the front, how it works, the back. That's the most important thing to show. If you don't show that, if you have a channel manager, I'm a channel manager, do this, this, and this with figure and some pictures. Okay, everybody do the same. How it works. I have no idea. I need to, if you want to know, you need to have a training or access a webinar. No, I don't have time to do that. So you lose a client. Do videos explaining how your extranets work, what is the potential that can be used from the customer. That is the most important. Maybe we can have more sales at the end. And we'll help the hoteliers to understand it and compare what they have with what the news. As I told before, we still have a lot of hotels worldwide do not use cloud systems. So this will help to them understand why I need to change, why it's cheaper. They don't pay licenses anymore. You don't need to go say, oh, you need to pay me 35,000 euros for the license, and then you're gonna pay me 5,000 per month. No, that changed. A lot of hoteliers don't know that. And the way that we can help them also is with this, showing how our back works, what we can do better than them. And I do have the questions that we'll do later. Sorry, Clarissa, I'm sorry. I just will go for a tricky question. I will get it and then do it at the end. Yeah, please, all yours.
No,
if somebody needs to make a point, go ahead. Well, we're close.
I'm finished, really, I'm finished. Just what you were calling me, and I gave my 2 cents. I can only agree with you. And also, Alejandro, I mean, you were mentioning things that I also wanted to mention. So I don't want to repeat myself, no. Is there any other question? Alejandro, you mentioned that.
No, it's for you. It's from Tiago Araújo.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you can wrap up the session with Tiago, I think, and we'll all be honored to hear you out, for sure.
So, Clarissa, go ahead. You see the question is on the bottom of the spreadsheet.
Actually, not, Vinicius.
No.
Okay, so let me. I can do it. So Tiago, just we've talked about automation, we've talked about the benefits for a hotel, but we tend to forget that still the service has to be personal. It has to be given to a human being, right? And that's where the real value of, well, that's where the hospitality world is really born, right? So how can we balance automation and still give a personalized service, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think that any of us as a tech provider, we are always here, or we at least once heard a hotelier coming back to us and saying, I don't want that because I want to continue having a personalized guest experience. And I think this is something for any tech provider that comes here in a buzz in your head all the time of hearing, I want a personalized guest experience. And it's something that, to be honest and transparent, that I disagree totally, completely. And why is a huge discussion that sometimes I have with hoteliers. First of all, people, hoteliers need to think that they have different guests. I mean, if you think about any other industry as your bank accounts, you have people that see their bank accounts within an app, and you have people that go directly to the bank to see their bank accounts, or they receive the papers through mail. So you have different users, let's say, and in this case of the hospitality industry, you have different kinds of guests that want different things, and you should be obviously in the perfect world having the various options throughout your guests, even if you have a specific segment. But additionally, one thing that we do see is that technology doesn't take at all personalization. I mean, if we go through the guest experience and think about it, for example, talking more specifically about the consideration phase while you have guests booking, having a chatbot replying to simple questions such as what time is a check-in, what time is a checkout, or if the hotel is open right now because of the pandemic, that doesn't take personalization. I mean, if it doesn't understand, it just passes along to someone else. Or we have here 2 PMS providers that work probably with online check-in. I mean, if a guest wants to do their online check-in, that's something I feel special being able to do the online check-in, obviously. And there's people that would rather to do it on the front desk. The service is still available, so you can do it on the front desk if you want to, but you have the possibility of having a personalized guest experience of doing it online. And that's a personalized guest experience for me, for example, to arrive to the hotel as we were already talking about, of having the card and being quick and going to the room. That's a personalized guest experience, and that's a plus. Or even, I mean, for example, as a business traveler, a lot of people on the checkout, it's a fuss because everyone is going to check out at the same time. If I wanted to do the online checkout, that's a personalized guest experience for me. So being this said, and as a summary in a nutshell, I have to say that you can have the balance between the two, of having the technology ready for simple processes that are completely capable and doable, of doing it online or doing it automatized way, and offering this and making the guest actually feel special. And once again, having your staff ready to give that extra mile or that extra human touch that is needed, but for processes that it's not being on the laptop introducing information that is within the ID, or even replying to simple questions as what time is a check-in and check-out. And changing completely into topic, Vinicius, regarding the videos, I totally agree with you. It's something that we do at HiJiffy. It works really well. It has a really good conversion rate. Guys, if you want to see HiJiffy on the back end, just go to our YouTube channel. We have it in English, French, Spanish, Portuguese. You can see it all, but I totally agree with you, Vinicius.
Yeah, and I think you described it very well, Tiago. I think the nicest thing about this pandemic and the times we get to live in is that we get the unique chance to demystify a lot of prejudices that there's in this industry, for sure. Again, when you talk about personalization through digital tools, right? So we have ambassadors, right, sitting in this room, and we had them in hotels, but maybe not in places where they could make the decisions, right? And now they will, maybe forcefully so because of the travelers asking for that. And then if there are still people sitting in those high seats, then the pandemic will have forced them to digitalize and to take the tools, right? So for either for A or B, then we're in a unique opportunity to make a significant change to the industry, right? And that's a good thing. So I just want to thank you for like beautifully rounding it up when saying this is what we can do, right? This is a value, and this is how we can really bring down some walls that we were seeing in hospitality up until now, right?
Yeah, completely. I mean, this is the time to really organize this personalization, and it's not versus tech, it's personalization plus tech, and make that happen and make that the guests feel special.
Good, thank you very much. I don't know if anyone else wants to add on top of Tiago.
Yeah, I can kind of very much relate to that because, you know, Mews was started with our founder, Richard, wanting to build a receptionless hotel. So it was quite a provocative idea. Just you walk into a hotel, there's a person standing, welcoming you. For many people, it's actually stressful because there is no post office like between the two of you. Nothing separates you. It's very, very human experience. I want to take a point from that because he challenged the status quo. He challenged the technology that was existing back then. And unfortunately, back then, there was no technology that was able to support it. But we are 8 years later, and we have loads of technology that can work together and bring this to every property. So I would just say challenge us, the technological providers, because we have ideas, we have technology, we have great people, and we can, you know, push the industry forward. But in the end, it's the hospitality providers who are on the ground with customers, providing the experience. So just talk to us, challenge us, and we'll figure out how to help you to push the experience even further.
I cannot agree more. I don't know, Vinny, if you want to add something to it, Clarissa.
Well, yes, at the end, I was thinking about, you know, the question, the original question was how can Hotel Automas still give a personalized guest experience? I think that the answer is that it's not still give a personalized, but automation technologies is increasing the possibilities of giving a personalized system. It's not still giving, but even increasing it and giving you more opportunity and chances of doing things in different ways and give the choice. I mean, I'm thinking about in me at the hotel, at the reception, and I'm thinking about still having just one way. Give the option to your guests. Do you prefer online check-in? Do you prefer to come to the reception? Do you prefer that? So technology is actually the other way around, is increasing the opportunity of personalization for the guest. So
thank you, Clarissa. We're gonna finish our panel Travel Tech this year. Finish after 5 months. We are very proud and happy. Before everything, I would like to a big thank you for my team, for our CTO Christian, to give us all the support that we need, to Federico, the co-founder of Travel Tech, also for our designing and marketing team to support us on everything to make this possible. Even in 5 months, we already are the biggest worldwide event for knowledge on the world. So having done that in 5 months, I don't know how we did it. I really don't know, to be very. We just moved forward and said we're gonna do it, and it happens. So we are really happy about all the professionals that passed here from the first beginning till today. We are very thankful for all of you that are here and for all the people that passed here, for all the companies, for all the support. I think Travel Tech is not something that has been created in the pandemic or will disappear. Next year, as I said, we're going to have another 5 events. We will focus on knowledge for hotels. So also for all the speakers here and for all the companies that pass through here, every time, anytime that you have something new to communicate, if you have some press about your company, what you can do, you just can send to us, and we're more than glad to publish this on our LinkedIn worldwide. Right now, we have a database with more than 6,000 hoteliers worldwide that have been passed through travel tech from different regions of the world. And the good thing about travel tech, we don't do everything in English. We do English because EMEA is very big in Africa and Middle East also, and for Asia. But then we have the Spanish and they have the Portuguese. And I hope so that in the future, maybe we can do also a French version. And why not a Chinese one, as a so big country? Why not? I don't speak Chinese, so I don't be there for sure. Why not? We cannot do that. So thank you very much. We're going to have a lot of things coming through for travel tech. So thank you very much. Thank you for my entire team. Thank you for the sponsors again, for ideas, for Libra Technologies, for AskSuite, for Tag Express, Book Now, HS Latin, and thank you for all the companies. The good thing that travel tech also, we have, just to let you know, we have already more than 250,000 impressions. So anytime we do something, that's a very relevant number. When you participate here, your company is going to have a spot. Everybody will see that, and also yourself as a professional. So I think travel tech not only teach hotels and we give tips and hints, but at the same time we give also more and more exposition for all the companies and all the professionals that pass here through us. So thank you very much for everything. Thank you for all the attendance that we have. Thank you, Luís Brites from Clever Hospitality, Alfredo Chiaramonte from CHAPP Solutions, Jiří Helmich from Mews, Tiago Araújo from HiJiffy, Prithwish Dutta from eRevMax, Alejandro Gomez Losada and Clarissa Tracy. Thank you a lot. Thank you for all the attendance. And just the last thing before I give you the word to say goodbye, and just to let you know, everybody, everything we do is recorded. So all the sessions of this week, when we finish, all the people that has registered for this forum will receive the video next week on traveltech.space, our website for this forum and all the others. We'll have for all the panels that pass through, you're going to have watch. You just click here, it's going to open. You can see all the sessions again if you want. Will be in our YouTube channel also. And if you like to see how was Travel Tech Asia Pacific, it's in English, you can do it. If you speak Portuguese, you can double check Travel Tech Brazil, Portugal. And if you speak Spanish, you can go ahead and check Travel Tech Latin Spanish speakers in Spain. And remember, Travel Tech has a mix. We have already more than 100 different professionals and companies that pass through here. So it's a big amount of companies, a big amount of outstanding professionals worldwide. So thank you. Luís Brites, I start with you. You have 2 minutes to say goodbye and everything you want. And I hope everybody enjoy. That's the most important thing. I hope all of you enjoy be here also. Luís Brites, please.
Well, Vini, thank you so much. It was a great pleasure and an honor to be on this panel with all you guys. Thank you so much. It was an honor. And I just can't wait for the next year to have new Travel Tech editions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And tell you one thing more. We're going to have in December, we're going to do a Travel Tech Talks. It's a different format. It's more a show where companies can show themselves. So in December, we're going to have one event between Brazil and Portugal. So we have 2 RMs companies from Brazil and 2 other companies from Portugal. In January, we're going to do other sessions. And in February, we'll do 2 other sessions. So we will invite different companies if they want to accept and join us. So we keep all you posted for the next steps about Travel Tech, and also for the online fair we're going to do the next year is going to be the first global online fair on the world per region and per language. Alfredo Chiaramonte, caro, per favore.
Grazie, benissimo. Tante grazie.
Niente, prego.
I only want to thank you once again for the invitation, and also congratulations you and your team, and also the moderators. I think that they have done a really good job, not just today, but all the 5 days. I was following the discussions. It was a really good discussion. So thank you for having me, and thank you all you the panelists to share with me today. I'm just taking some new contacts, and the idea here is, as we mentioned in the call, in this event, I think that it would be interesting to share and collaborate even more. All our tech solution, I think, is important just to add value to the hoteliers. That is the goal of all of us.
Of course. Thank you very much, Alfredo. Jiří, Helmich, Mews, you have your time now.
Thank you very much as well for inviting me to this great event. It was really a pleasure to discuss technology with everyone here. Very, very welcome to be part of it. So thank you very much.
Welcome, Jiří. Tiago Araújo, HiJiffy. Your turn.
Yeah, I have to thank for this organization. I mean, what I feel right now is that, and I always tend to say this, that there's this moment is the moment to talk about technology in the travel industry. I mean, with the acceleration that we've been through, it was never so important to talk about tech. And I hope that we can obviously leverage on top of this, and if we have our industry more innovative. And thank you for the organization. I really appreciate being here.
Welcome, Tiago. Prithwish, Dutta, eRevMax, Global Director.
Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, Travel Tech. Thanks, the moderators, Clarissa and Alejandro. Thanks and much appreciated. Thanks to all the panelists, all the respected panelists here. Talking about interacting with so much of sharing knowledge, what's happening in and around. And I do look forward to in fact do more of these sessions in the near future. And from behalf of entire eRevMax, thank you everybody.
You are always welcome. And also would like to have a big thank you for Neka Girona from eRevMax that has supported us and sharing and press release as Libre that did it at also. So I'm so I don't know, thankful for that. Clarissa Trese, la mia personale amica. Allora, se il tuo turno, puoi parlare per favore nei tuoi 2 minuti.
From my side, I can always really give my congratulations to you, Vinicius, and to HS Latam for this great initiative in this difficult year. I think it is probably the best initiative of the year, and I thank you to all the sponsors that also make this possible, and double thank, triple thank you for inviting me, for giving me the opportunity of being part of this, and I'm sure there will be more to come. I invite everybody to stay tuned because the future is long and there is a lot of further great initiatives that will come. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Clarissa. You're always welcome. I will count with you for in January for some for the 2 travel tech talks that we're going to do. That's going to be between Asia Pacific and Europe, and one of them will be between Europe and America. So you
mentioned languages, by the way. We can increase that, and you know that.
I speak 6 languages. He speaks another 5, so we don't have issues. I just don't speak Mandarin. Mandarin, Japanese is not my. No. By the moment, we never know. If I have time, maybe I learn sometime. Alejandro Gomez Lozada, a good friend of mine, an outstanding professional. Thank you so much to be here and give us a hand for these 3 days to moderate those panels. Excellent job. Also, my friend, your turn.
I cannot beat how thankful Clarissa is, so it would be like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times. But I just want to thank everyone here for allowing us to pick your brains. Thank you for being so humble and so sharing. And I tend to end up sessions energizing whoever we're talking to. So there's a lot of hoteliers on the other side, a lot of companies, and I tend to use smarter people's words than my own. So in the words of the great Winston Churchill, I'm just going to say that for all of those guys out there, if you feel like you're going through hell, just keep going, right? So 2021.
You pass through hell. Someday you pass through. Someday.
We need to push through, right? Push forward, and we'll see all of us on the other side.
Thank you so much, everybody. We're finished Travel Tech Emea. Welcome. Thank you, and thank you. Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.